Welcome back to Spoken English Academy. Today we're diving into a conversation about job interview preparation, everything from answering common interview questions to handling nerves and making a great impression. In this episode, you'll get practical advice on how to present yourself confidently, structure your answers, and use simple techniques to make your experience shine. Whether you're gearing up for an interview or just improving your communication skills, this conversation is packed with tips to help you succeed. So sit back, relax, and let's get started.
Hey William, you look pretty focused over there. What's going on?
Oh, hey Sarah. I've got a big job interview coming up, and I'm just trying to prepare. It's for a position I've wanted for a while, so I'm a little nervous.
That's exciting. Interviews can be nerve-wracking, but you've got this. What kind of job is it?
It's a marketing coordinator role. It's a step up from what I've been doing, and I really want to make a good impression.
That sounds like a great opportunity. Interviews can feel intimidating, but I've been through a few myself. Want some tips on how to prepare and stay confident?
I would love that. I've been reading up on common interview questions, but there's so much to think about.
I know the feeling. First things first, it's great that you're preparing ahead of time. That's already a huge advantage. Have you practiced answering questions out loud yet?
Not really. I've been going over potential answers in my head, but I haven't actually said them out loud. Do you think that makes a big difference?
Definitely. Saying your answers out loud helps you get comfortable with the wording and delivery. It's easy to think you know what to say, but when you try to verbalize it, it can come out differently. Practicing aloud also helps you find the right pace and tone for your responses.
That makes sense. I guess I've been focusing more on what to say than how to say it. What else should I focus on during my preparation?
Aside from practicing answers, it's also important to research the company and the role. That way, when they ask you questions like, "Why do you want to work here?" or "What do you know about our company?" you can give a personalized answer. You want to show them that you're genuinely interested and not just applying to any random job.
I've done a bit of research on the company, but I haven't really thought about how to tailor my answers. So instead of giving a generic answer, I should focus on what makes me a good fit for their company specifically.
Exactly. Think about what the company values, their mission, and the skills they're looking for in this role. Then connect that to your experience. For example, if they're big on innovation, you could talk about a time when you introduced a new idea or process at your current job. You want to show them that you'll fit right into their culture and bring something valuable to the team.
That's a great tip. I was just going to talk about my qualifications, but now I see how I can tie it into their specific needs. What about the tough questions, though? I always freeze when they ask me things like, "What's your biggest weakness?" How do you even answer that without sounding bad?
The classic biggest weakness question. It's tricky, but the key is to be honest while showing that you're self-aware and working on improving. Avoid saying something too negative like, "I'm always late." Or something too cliché like, "I work too hard." Instead, pick something that's real but not a deal breaker for the job. Then explain how you're actively working on it. For example, if you struggle with time management, you could say, "I've noticed that time management is an area where I can improve, so I've started using a scheduling app to stay on top of my tasks, and it's made a big difference." That way, you turn a weakness into something positive by showing that you're proactive.
That's smart. I've always been tempted to avoid the question or give a fake answer, but now I see how owning up to a real weakness and showing how I'm improving could make a better impression. I'll have to think about what to say for that.
Yeah, just keep it genuine. And remember, they're not looking for perfection, they just want to see that you're aware of your growth areas and are taking steps to improve. Another tough one is the "tell me about yourself" question. How are you planning to handle that one?
That's the one that trips me up every time. I never know where to start. Do I talk about my entire career history? Do I mention personal stuff?
It can be a tricky one, for sure. The key with "tell me about yourself" is to keep it concise and relevant to the job. You don't need to go into every detail of your life or career. Focus on the highlights that relate to the role. A good formula to follow is present, past, future. Start with where you are now in your career, briefly touch on relevant experience from the past, and then talk about what you're looking for in the future and why this role aligns with that.
Oh, I like that. So, for example, I could say something like, I'm currently working as a marketing assistant, where I've gained experience in managing campaigns and analyzing results. Before that, I completed an internship in digital marketing, which sparked my interest in this field. I'm looking for a role where I can take on more responsibility and use my skills to contribute to a dynamic team. And that's why I'm excited about this opportunity. Does that sound good?
That's perfect. You're hitting all the right points: where you are, what you've done, and why you're excited about the future. Plus, you're keeping it relevant to the job, which is exactly what they're looking for.
Phew, that's a relief. I feel a bit more confident about that now. What other questions should I be prepared for?
Well, another common one is, why should we hire you? This is your chance to really sell yourself and stand out from the other candidates. You want to highlight your unique strengths and how they align with the job requirements.
That one always feels like such a big question. How do I answer it without sounding arrogant?
It can feel awkward, but just think of it as an opportunity to show why you're the best fit. Start by reviewing the job description and identifying the key qualities they're looking for. Then, match those qualities with your skills and experience. You don't need to be boastful, just confident and clear about how your background makes you the right person for the job. For example, you could say something like, based on the job description, I see that you're looking for someone who can manage multiple projects and collaborate across teams. In my current role, I've successfully managed several marketing campaigns from start to finish, coordinating with different departments to ensure everything runs smoothly. I believe these skills, along with my passion for creative problem solving, make me a strong candidate for this position.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like I'm aligning my strengths with what they're looking for, rather than just listing off my skills.
Exactly. It's all about showing that you're not just qualified, but that you're the best fit for this job. And speaking of aligning your strengths, don't forget to prepare some examples of your work. Interviewers love when you can back up your answers with real-life experiences.
Right, like giving specific examples during the tell me about a time when questions. I always find those tough because I can't think of a good story on the spot.
Those can be challenging, but if you prepare a few examples ahead of time, it's much easier. Try to use the STAR method: situation, task, action, result. That way, your answers are structured and clear. For example, if they ask you to tell me about a time when you solved a problem, you could say, for situation in my previous job, our team was facing declining engagement with our social media posts. For task, I was responsible for coming up with a new strategy to improve our online presence. For action, I researched new trends and suggested we start using interactive content like polls and live Q&A sessions. For result, within 2 months, our engagement rates increased by 30%, and we saw more interaction from our audience.
Oh, I've heard of the STAR method before. I just haven't practiced using it much. It sounds like it would make my answers a lot clearer and more organized.
Definitely. It helps the interviewer follow your thought process and see the impact you've made. Plus, it's a great way to show that you've handled challenges and produced real results in your previous roles.
I'll start coming up with a few STAR examples then. What about body language? I know what I'm going to say is important, but I'm always worried about how I come across physically.
Great point. Body language can really influence how you're perceived. Here are a few tips: maintain good posture, make eye contact, and offer a firm handshake when you first meet the interviewer. Smiling naturally helps too. It makes you seem friendly and approachable.
Got it. I'll make sure to practice these things. Thanks so much for all the advice, Sarah. I feel much more prepared now.
You're welcome, William. I'm sure you'll do great. Just stay calm, be yourself, and remember that they're interested in you because they see potential. Good luck with your interview.
Thanks, Sarah. I'll let you know how it goes.
Please do, and if you need any more tips, just let me know. Have a fantastic day.
And that brings us to the end of today's discussion on preparing for job interviews. We hope you found these tips helpful and are feeling more confident about tackling your next interview. Remember, preparation and practice are key to showing up as your best self. If this episode helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with friends who are also working on their English or preparing for interviews. Thanks for listening to Spoken English Academy. Keep practicing, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode.